Here with John Bardis, National Wrestling Hall of Fame, going in as the Outstanding American this year for the Hall. Just an initial thought when you got the call and the Hall of Fame said, John, we'd like to recognize you for what you've done in life and what you've done in wrestling. What were your thoughts?
Well, the first was shock and surprise. I didn't expect it, and I never would have expected it. And then, to tell you the truth, elation. It was pretty emotional from the standpoint of who's in this hall and what they have meant to me in terms of their representation of our sport, but their example throughout their lives and how that's influenced my own life, virtually all of my life. It was emotional. It made me feel special and good and honored.
Now, you've been close to the Hall of Fame. You've been involved in this group, the people that put this on, and the athletes and coaches and wrestling leaders that have been in here. I mean, how important is the Hall of Fame to the wrestling community? What role does it play in helping us make us a better sport?
Well, I get a smile on my face when I think about the Hall of Fame because it's a central point that our sport can always go back to find both our roots and our greatness. And the individuals who are in the Hall of Fame represent what is best in our sport at the global, state, and national level, and at the same time help us understand not just the greatness, but what has made this sport special and unique. And so, in my opinion, the Hall of Fame is a central piece of what wrestling is, not just to the United States of America, but to the world.
So you're in the Hall of Fame not because what you did as a high school or college athlete or even some of your involvement in leadership in USA Wrestling, but it's about your overall impact on the world and in our country. And talk a little bit about how wrestling plays into being a good businessman, someone who's able to go out and make a difference on a professional level.
Well, I think the first thing is as a business person, you have to adjust. And I've rarely been right the first time I've thought about something that needed to be done on a large scale, for example, in starting a company. But wrestling taught me how to continue to get better and adjust and fix things that needed to be fixed, and also to outwork competitors. And that is something I've carried with me every day of my life. In fact, I'll say tonight that every day of my life I've thought about various individuals who are distinguished members of this hall, who are really what this hall is about. And they have motivated me, whether it was taking a red-eye flight halfway around the world to go do business, or to work that much harder, or to make adjustments in things that I was doing. In other words, just being honest with myself, because it's not possible to get better and make the kinds of improvements necessary to succeed without self-assessment. So I mean this sincerely when I say that every single day of my life I think about members of this particular Hall of Fame and what they would do under circumstances where they were challenged to both be better and work harder.
Now, wrestling's an individual sport, but as a corporate leader, you have to be able to work with groups of people. I mean, obviously, you yourself can't have the success level that a company would have without having the right people and the right plan. How do you use your skills as an individual sport athlete to build a team effort that's winning in business?
Well, it's interesting because our sport, while having individual performers bringing together the ultimate objective of winning, is not unlike business, right? Teams of people are made up of individuals who have to be outstanding at what they do. And regardless of how good your product is, the company itself is only as good as its people. So performance is based on individual excellence, and then meshing that individual excellence with a team focus on performance, numbers, data, etc. And what I have found over time is that wrestling and exercising its capability to make the best individual wrestler is a great way to coach individual people and then bring them together to a vision. So I don't think the fact that it's an individual sport in any way, shape, or form hinders its impact on the larger corporate type bodies or even coaching other kinds of sports.
Clearly wrestling means enough to you to spend time outside of your own life, your own business, putting back, helping the sport of wrestling. You're one of the leaders of Kapow now, helping with the Olympic. You led the Greco-Roman program for many years to its highest level of excellence. What motivates you to say, hey, I was a wrestler, but now I want to help wrestling?
Well, first, my entire life was changed by wrestling in a very positive way and gave me purpose, and most importantly, when I was very young, it gave me hope and it gave me a place which I wouldn't have had otherwise. And so I'm really hopeful that in promoting the greatness of this sport and making it accessible to more and more young people, it gives them the same kind of opportunity. Look, very few make the Olympic team, very few win world medals, but everybody dreams about that. And that dream is what motivates kids and ultimately adults to be better human beings. And so for me, that dream, that ideal, that concept has carried me since the time I was 12 years old.
So Greco-Roman was important to you. You competed in it. You were team leader in it, and we got two great Greco people going into the hall. Dan Chandler, one of our athletes and top level coaches, and then Matt Gaffari, who had just a tremendous career as a heavyweight. Your thoughts about sharing this moment with these Greco guys?
Well, it's a thrill. First of all, in addressing Dan Chandler, Dan has contributed to Greco-Roman wrestling in the United States and really the world as a whole at every single level that you can. Three-time Olympian, many-time national champion, one of the greatest coaches and really best persons we've ever had in the sport. When you look at the byproduct, the fruit of his labor, you look at Rulon Gardner, you look at all the individuals that came out of Minnesota, you look at Dennis Kozlowski. These individuals as men, as world champion and world medalist and Olympic medalist athletes are byproducts of the love and care and leadership of Dan Chandler. So his legacy in our sport is absolutely enormous from an athletic point of view all the way to coach and mentor.
And Big Matt, he wasn't on the teams that you were team leader of, but he set a level of excellence in Greco that were followed by guys like Rulon and Byers, right?
Well, I sponsored, Judy and I sponsored Matt for a number of years, and really like him, first of all. You get to know Matt Gaffari, to know him is to like him. And he's a very enjoyable, sweet human being, bigger than life, got a heart almost as big as his chest. And so as a human being, Matt has always been a great ambassador for the sport. But he's also, again, one of those individuals who's been a representation of what it means to be a wrestler, what it means to get better, what it means not to make the first team the first time. Not only successful, still the only four-time world and Olympic medalist we've ever had in Greco-Roman. So, Matt set a standard that is reflective of also the work ethic it requires to be great while not necessarily starting there.
Yeah, no, Matt's an amazing guy. I've enjoyed being part of his life too,
Yeah.
So is your family enjoying this experience? I mean, obviously wrestling is part of your life and they've shared it with you, but being out here at the hall and having you honored, has it been fun to share that with your family?
It has, and my children have met many wrestlers in their lives because of the association, so has my wife, Judy. But to be at the hall where at this event you can meet and see and spend time with so many special old friends and new people who we've known about, but then to walk the hall and see the history and frankly see what Dad's been talking about for a long time. As a kid, I memorized every one of those statistics, knew every member of the Olympic team and so forth. And so to me, it's jaw-dropping and awe-inspiring and very humbling to be in the presence of the hall and to have my children with me to share this experience is truly once in a lifetime.
Well, I appreciate it, John. Congratulations. Should be some fun tonight, I think. Huh?
Yeah, Gary, thank you.